guys, it's Stitching May here. I just like almost inhaled part of my drink. I have my camera on a timer, that way I don't have to like try to run and not mess up the focus. And I took a sip right as the timer started and almost got strangled. Anyway, half the excitement starts while that timer's timing down. I almost wish it recorded while the timer was timing down to where I could use it as my bloopers. Anyway, I'm here now to do my update video. As you can tell, my voice is back, but it's still a little meh. I've survived this sinus bronchial, whatever you want to call it. Didn't have a fever, no body cramps, so I don't think it was the flu. Had the flu shot. Connor got it first. He still has it. His isn't clearing up as fast as mine is. We took him to the doctor yesterday. She is kind of worried about him getting pneumonia from it, so she has him on breathing treatments. She doesn't think he's there yet, but is wanting us to keep a very watchful eye on this to where if it does become pneumonia, we're ahead of it. I think we're okay. The breathing treatments seem to be helping. It's all getting loose. We won't go into all that. So as you know, it's been 2 weeks since my last video, and I wish I could say I had all this wonderful amount of progress. I've got some mediocre progress. You know, it was Thanksgiving, and I've been sick, Connor's been sick, so it's been kind of, you know, kind of a hectic week. We also started basketball literally last night. Connor was not going to practice. He is absolutely loving basketball, where baseball, he didn't mind it. He liked hanging out with his friends and being on a team, but he's really enjoying basketball, so hopefully he'll continue to enjoy it. I had one new start, a little bit of haul, one win, and then no finishes. And then I'm going to show you what I'm going to work on today. So let's just jump in. We'll start off with the new start. I have a friend who just had a baby, and this friend is very special to me, and this baby is very special to our group of friends. It's not been easy, let's just put it that way. And so the chart that I got off of eBay. That is my nursing license renewal information. That doesn't need to be on here. I got on Etsy, sorry, not eBay, from One of a Kind Baby Design LLC. oneofakindbabydesign.com. And the designer is Heather Yothers. Guys, I cannot brag enough on the designer. So I contacted her and ordered the pattern, and noticed in the bottom that it said if you need to color changes to let her know. So in the Etsy conversation, I sent her a picture of the quilt my friend's mother made her for the baby's room. She then matched the colors to that quilt, sent it back to me to ask me if the colors were okay, and then also had me send the baby's name and birthday, and she edited the pattern instead of making me personalize it myself. And communication, I cannot brag enough on this lady. Like, I will definitely use her again. Trying to see if I have the original that doesn't have my friend's baby's name on there. I don't think she'll care. I don't have. I'll insert a picture here to show you what it will look like. And this particular pattern, I knew that I wanted to use this quote. And so I found a couple of patterns that had this quote on it and sent it to her and asked her which one she wanted. And she actually, without knowing it, chose the easier one. The other one was by My Big Toe Designs, and it was a little more complicated. And she chose this one. I also sent some other more basic kind of not, without this quote, you know, baby announcements. And this is the one she chose. I don't normally let my friends choose what baby announcement that I do. But like I said, this is 8 years in the making, so it was different. So I started that, and what I'm doing is I'm kind of trying to stitch on this a little bit each day, or what I'm gonna try to do, my goal, because I absolutely love stitching this piece. And in one section it has over 2,000, almost 3,000 stitches of the letters. So I'm gonna have to, you know, break that up. So I think I'm gonna try to stitch on this every time I sit down, or every day that I sit down, try to stitch on this for about an hour, knock some of it out, and then stitch on whatever I want to, or whatever, not whatever I want to, whatever I spin. And then if I don't like the project that I spin, like, you know how I said I could keep it to an hour, if I don't like that project, then I'll go back to this one until I get it done. I don't really have a goal date. I told her not to expect it until at least the baby's first birthday, because, you know, that's the way it is. She understands. Her mom's a quilter. Her mom used to cross stitch. Her mom's a crafter. She completely understands. And then the room's got all white furniture, so I'm just going to frame it probably myself, or, you know, maybe have Michael's frame it in a white frame. But this is where I am so far. I had to restart. My husband originally picked out, he's my color guy for whatever reason. Ooh, needle in the project. Guys, I've got to stop doing that. Better than project in my foot though, right? So I originally had this on a piece of 32 count linen, just natural linen, and the colors just weren't showing up. So then I changed to this oatmeal fabric. I know there's probably a shadow because the way my light has, it's a rainy day today, so the lighting was a little weird. So I chose this 18 count oatmeal fabric instead. I like it because it's not exactly white, but then it's not really taking away from the project either. Because all these greens, oddly enough, were blending in on that, on the 32, on the more natural color. But there that is. I've got the first little flower done on the first side of the border. I'm going to come back and do this side of the border and then the letters. And I'm just stitching it like at a page at a time. Guys, she sends you a regular size chart, an all over chart, and then an enlarged chart, and then the black and white and color versions of all of that. Like, I can't brag enough on this company or this designer. So I will, if she does more than baby designs, I will use her again. Excuse me, I have the hiccups. If you're looking for a baby design, I recommend her. But that's where I am right now on this one. I probably don't have a lot of pictures of before and after for these projects because, well, I'm just horrible. No other explanation. But it is what it is. So, my next project that I worked a lot on over the 2 weeks was my stitch along piece. Guys, I still have absolutely no clue what this is going to be. And lately, this has been the piece that I take to work and work on breaks. And even more recently, we had a random night where I wouldn't have been there, but somebody was on overtime. Anyway, we had like a crazily good night. So we were actually, the patients were all healthy. It was a crazily good night. And I actually got to stitch a little bit at the desk. But, so everybody's like, oh, that's beautiful. What are you working on? I'm like, I don't know. They're like, why is there a 69 in the middle of it? I'm like, I don't know. They're like, you don't know what it's going to be? And I'm like, no, I have no clue. They're like, well, then how do you know you're going to like it? I was like, oh, it's just for the fun of it. And they're like, it like blew their mind that I did not know what I was stitching. I explained that it's a mystery stitch along. They're like, oh, what's the theme? There is no theme. I don't know. So anyway, I finally got my pin from my team captain, my team Fireball Stitch Along. And then I also have my needle minder. It's on my project. I kind of panicked because I didn't feel it the first time. So I think needle. I think they're, excuse me, I'm not going to be able to edit all the coughs out, guys. I'm sorry. I think they're going to release the last 2 patterns on Sunday. And I just happen to be off because tomorrow is my son's birthday party. And then Sunday is one of his friend's birthday parties. December's all kind of crazy. I'm off and working all kind of weird days. I don't know when I'll be able to stitch. But anyway, I should be off for the release for the last 2 patterns of Stitch Along. And I'm excited about that. So this is where we currently are. $6.96. Hee hee. Hold it up with some with my white card just in case, to see if it'll help it focus and see if it'll help with the color and the shadows. And again, this is my Frankenstein project. None of my colors are exactly matching. Some of my turquoises are different colors and some of my greens are different colors. I'm hoping there's not a whole lot more orange, because if there is, then I will be out of orange and have to come up with something with that. And then there's my needle minder too. My Team Fireball needle minder. So the first week of this 2-week period, we worked on the outside of these flourishes, is what I'm going to call it. I don't know what it's supposed to be. And these little extra Wi-Fi symbols is what I'm going to call it. And then we came back the second week and did the middle outline of the flourish, and then the letters hee hee to make it hee hee. And the other 6 or 9, whichever number that is. The other 6. But there that is. I'm really enjoying working on this. I will more than likely do another Stitch Along. I've really enjoyed the team aspect. Even though I have no clue what this is, I don't know if, to be quite frank, I don't know if this is something that I'm going to want to frame in the house. But I've enjoyed the team aspect, so I've enjoyed stitching it. Some big Dollar Tree, these little bags at my Dollar Tree. Okay, the next project that I did spin this one. Maybe my son spun this one. And it is my Lady of the Flag. If I have a picture of what it looked like before, I'll insert it. If not, then I'm sorry. I'm again doing the green conversion from Diana at Is Kismet Stitches. And I'm loving it. This one was hard to put down this time. This one's usually kind of, I don't want to say a bared, like it's just hard to find somewhere to start and to work on. It's a little daunting. It's a little overwhelming to me. I think it's the conversion. Not that the conversion isn't beautiful, but this is the first time I've like I've done little pieces like this where I change the color and it's not that big of a deal. But this is my first one that like shading and stuff like that matters. That I've completely changed. Not that I've changed, that I followed somebody's change. And I don't know why I'm so nervous about it. I absolutely trust Diana, otherwise I wouldn't be using her conversion. But it's just, I don't know. And I'm a little worried that my fabric isn't big enough. So like, there are several things that have got me worried. So I think that's why it's a little daunting. But I had a lot of fun stitching it this time. So, here this is. I can tell you, in case I didn't have a picture, I work more on this green and more on this green right here. A lot more of the green. I realized I was getting kind of a striping look to it, so I kind of started trying to stitch left and right too, just to make sure. I worked on this while my husband and I finished up Making of a Murderer Season 2. I've discovered if I'm ever in trouble, I want Kathleen Zellmer as my attorney. However, I do have a friend that's a defense attorney. I've joked with him that he's on a constant retainer. Okay, and then I worked on my Dragonfly Fairy. I just put that white card on the floor. If I can get to it without bumping the glass. Let's see. And if I had a picture, this is where it was before. I don't think I have a picture of this one. I may have a picture of them all. I blame cold medicines. This is my Joan Elliott that I'm stitching along with Belinda. I think she's been working on her mirrors lately though. So glad to see her back. So glad her daughter's doing well. And 2019 is going to be amazing for Belinda. I'm just saying. It's my role. This is the top. I had to think of which way was up. I always try to put this as the up part to where I can remember which way is up. So, this is where I currently am. Okay, so I stitched all of this gold for way too long. I don't want to tell you how long it took. My sister and I were looking at the scanner when I was stitching this. And then I went back and realized that I had stitched it all in completely the wrong color. Had to pull all of the gold out and restitch them in the right color. I had to reverse the colors and it was affecting the shading. So I know it doesn't look like a lot of work, but if I had been able to stitch just that once and go on, I would have completed another layer in the dress. But there my dragonfly fairy is. Hope my clock's not too loud. I put the battery back in my clock over Thanksgiving when we decluttered this room, and I realized that the clock's kind of loud. Maybe y'all won't be able to hear it. And then, last but not least, this week, after I worked my work week, I worked on my very old sampler. I know I have a picture of it. This is what it looked like before. This is what it will look like when it's finished. Just in case, you guys, this comes from the Cross Stitch and Country Crafts from March, April of '88. I was 4. These dolls kind of creep me out. And this is what it will look like when it's finished. Probably a glare on the magazine. Sorry if there is. What kills me is that there are all these pineapples and stuff in this, in these magazines. So this is like the pineapple goose fades. The other day I was at work and I heard some young girls, I'll say young, they're still like in their first years of college and stuff, talking about how they love pineapples. And I'm like, okay, so if pineapples are coming back in style, are the geese going to come back in style? Because if they are, I'm going to be rolling in patterns with geese. And I'm not going to have buy anything else to stitch. Because I have all the geese. This is on... I'm good. This is on 32 count linen. This is the same linen that I had started the baby project on. The same 32 count linen. Not this piece, but the same color. And I didn't realize how much green there was in it. And then it was going to pull out the green, the green in the piece wasn't going to show up. Guys, I finally finished the flipping middle alphabet. That was so tedious, where you had to have light to dark and medium to dark. Light to medium, medium to light in the stripes. And then there are 2 little green pluses that you can't really see right now. They're going to have more to them soon. But I'm really excited about working this one. This was another one that I didn't want to put down. So this week, it has started that what was going on. Instead of before where I would spin something I didn't want to start it or didn't want to work on it. This time when I spin, it's not that I don't want to work on that project. It's that I don't want to put down the one that I'm stitching on. So who knows, I may change that and just go to work on it. I don't know. We'll see. I'm going to keep using the wheel. I absolutely love the randomness of the wheel. The time period and my rules about how often I change, all that is subject to change. That is, you know, just at my will. Right now, I currently am doing that. I spend whatever. I have to work on that project for an hour. And then if I don't want to work on that project anymore, then I go back to the baby sampler. That way I can get some done on the baby sampler. But there that is. And that is it for progress updates. Now, I spun last night after midnight. And then I didn't stitch. So, part of I'll get into that with the what I'm all into, because I'm going to borrow that this week from Kitten Stitcher. I spun my Dimensions kit, Christmas Advent, which is perfect because it's Christmas time. I had originally wanted to do this for my son. I decided that when he gets married and has children, if he gets married and has children, this will be their Advent calendar here at my house. Because I'm not going to get this done before he's an adult. There's way too much detail in this thing. And then I still have to do these little ornaments. Which I might work on the ornaments this time. I don't know. I haven't decided yet. And this is where I currently am on that project. I think I'm going to keep working. But I've done a lot of the border. I think I'm going to keep working on Santa some. I want to work more on the toys. So, there that is. And then, so this will be an update next time. I just was going to show you where I am now. And then I can also use that for my picture next time. Okay, so, a little bit of haul. Not much. Are you ready? I got my Color and Cotton installment. That's it. I have some coming. I've ordered some. I had to be really good after they're shrinked. And then it's Christmas, so I don't like buying myself stuff. Plus I have a new car payment I'm going to have to pay. Not new car payment, but you know, new to me car payment. So I have to slow down a little bit with the haul. So my colors are Vineyard, Mistletoe, Old Santa. Ooh. Wow. I'm going to hold this up so you can see these. Terracotta, which this may be the color the other one's Clay Pot. This one's Terracotta. If I don't have an orange, this may be the one I use. And then Carolina Blue, which my sister will steal from me, even though she doesn't stitch, because she's a Tar Heels fan, because she loves basketball. She's helping coach my son's team. She's got the shingles right now. We're all sick. My dad fell on Thanksgiving. He's fine. Scared me to death. Not that he's that. That made him sound. It was the way I found out he fell. He goes outside and my son comes flying in the door and he goes, "Pop fell outside. He hurt himself. He can't get up." And like, you know, immediately, nurses do one of two things. We either completely downplay everything or it's the worst case scenario. One of the two. It's never just a normal, hey, he stumbled. Which is all that it was. It just scared Connor. So by the time that I jump up to go flying outside, my dad's coming through the door and he's like, "What are you doing?" Like, I thought he was knocked out. Because, I mean, they were out playing on the concrete, you know. He was playing basketball with my son and my nephew. And apparently you can't play basketball in cowboy boots. So, he said that I asked him if he was okay, and he said absolutely that his pride was hurt more than his, you know, body was. So, we were good. So, he would kill me if he knew I talked about that. So, this is the Vineyard. It's got these pretty, almost reminds me of Palomino from Week Style Works. But really pretty. Mistletoe, Terracotta, Carolina Blue, and Old Santa. Guys, look at the variation in this one. And this Old Santa especially. Like, that's exactly what, you know, do you know those fuzzy ornaments? I don't know how to, oh gosh, they used to drive me crazy. They still kind of, the texture kind of bothers me. They're like felt. crushed felt that are kind of flocked. I don't know, but they're over styrofoam. And they fade. That's what this reminds me of. It's one of those old felt Santa ornament outfits. Like, that is such a perfect name for that. Sorry. And I'm not usually into reds. So, my last little segment, I'm going to steal from Kitten Stitcher and tell you what I'm all into. There we go. English language. Because that has to do with my stitching. So, a very long time ago, I started watching a show called Vampire Diaries and fell in love with it. And then stopped about halfway through the middle season. Don't ask me how that happened. I just did. I felt it again. And I'm completely addicted. And it's such a guilty pleasure. Such a guilty pleasure. Like, when I went back and was reading the synopsis of the first 3 seasons to where I could remember where I was in the season, I was reading it thinking, oh my gosh, when you read this instead of watch it, it's so dramatic. So many plot turns. Like, it's like a soap opera, you know, like, you know, what's the one that's been on for like longer than I've been alive? All My Children or whatever. It's kind of like that. Or As the World Turns. Such a soap opera. But I'm addicted. So much so that last night on Virtual Stitchers, it was just Sammy and I. And she also likes to show me out her as a Vampire Diary lover. We got ready. We pulled up the episode and we hit play at the same time. And we watched Vampire Diaries together. And we're supposed to be stitching. She was labeling her Christmas cards. And I was just watching. Oh, it was so much fun though. Stasha had gotten on there and I was finishing up an episode before when Stasha was on there first. And I jumped on and was finishing up the episode, and they were laughing at my reactions to the show because it's like at a pivotal moment. And I was laughing because instead of saying Ian Somerhalder, I was calling him Ian Smolderholder. And I found out that that's his nickname. You know how they have like Dr. McDreamy? He's Ian Smolderholder. And then the other thing I'm all into are the holiday mint M&Ms. It's going, guys. I gotta write this up. They are like Andes mints in M&M form, which is amazing and horrible all at the same time. So if you have a chance, try some of the holiday mint M&Ms. What's really good is if you can find the buy one get one free sale that CVS has sometimes, and then you get the dark chocolate M&Ms and you eat 2 of the dark chocolate M&Ms and 1 of the holiday mint M&Ms. Those are great. So about that time that I was talking about the M&Ms, my camera died, didn't realize it, and my alarm went off to go get my son all at the same time. So kind of having a good time though, because otherwise I would have continued to talk to you guys and not even known it. But yeah, so you get a few of the dark chocolate M&Ms and some of the holiday mint M&Ms, and they're amazing that way. I was saying that I was proud of myself though, because I've had some since before Thanksgiving. So like 3 weeks, 2.5 weeks now, and they're still, we've not eaten the whole, this family's not eaten the whole bag. So we are doing good. The last thing to show you, I won this from the Country Stitchers. Deb and Liz. I got the Purely Sampler Collection Live in Harmony from Homespun Elegance. I don't know if you guys can see that. I don't know how bad the glare is. Hopefully not too bad. I'm so excited. I love this sampler. It is so cute. I will definitely do this soon. So thank you guys for the opportunity to win that. So hopefully I'll be back next week. It looks like my, yes, I know. It looks like my schedule ends up being like every 2 weeks. So I plan on every week though. So we'll see. I'll either be back in a week or in 2 weeks. We have Connor's birthday party tomorrow, his birthday next week, and then of course some more basketball stuff coming up. So we'll see how it goes. Hopefully I'll have more progress next time and more voice. Thanks for watching, and as always, happy stitching.